Welcome to the next episode of our owner podcast interview segments. This is a grocery one. It's been a while since we did a grocery segment. I know Ramley will be happy about that. He's been giving us a hard time in the group chat. I have Angel, who is the owner of Coke Guy.
How you guys doing? Raider fan here, Angel. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Football draft day. I'm excited.
Niner shirt on for Ramley. Make sure, I know he'll love that.
Yeah. I wanted to throw on my Josh Jacobs jersey, but I mean, it's not the same no more. He's not on the team, man. So he's on my fantasy team still. So that kind of does count a little bit, I
guess. So yeah, we'll just get into it. This is the day of the draft, so we're recording this just about an hour and 30 minutes until the draft kicks off. So we'll have some nice talks, and then we'll get a rookie draft started. So yeah, what got you into football?
Well, it was back in 06, 07. I was a little kid, probably second or third grade. And it's gonna sound kind of funny coming from a Raider fan, because I remember one of the first games I actually sat down and watched the full game was when Danny Tomlinson was on the Chargers, and I was like, man, that guy's a good football player, man. And I started getting into it, and my dad always watching the games. He's a big 49er fan, man, huge 49er fan. So he was always watching the games as well. But that's how it pretty much started for me, man, in the second, third grade around there. So
nice. So we kind of know the answer to this one already, but favorite team of the Raiders?
Oh yeah, Raiders.
Always been the Raiders, or just
it's always been the Raiders. I was a little kid, and I was like, man, I don't know, I need to pick a team. Who's gonna be my team? And something about the Raiders intrigued me, so I picked them and never looked back. I mean, I've been loyal ever since.
They do have like a mystique about them, kind of like the whole Raider image, and very even though lately, or at least since like I've been following football, they haven't like been a good team, but they have that whole
damage. Yeah, they've had a couple good years here and there. The 2016 Raiders, Carr got injured. We had a couple, like 2 good years in the last 20 years, it seems like. So I mean, I'm loyal. I'm loyal.
They still have that allure though, where they're kind of like an infamous team in the league. Like, you can't really think about football and not involve the Raiders.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely, man.
So what do you like about football?
I mean, what don't I like about football? I love that it's a contact sport, just you're able to hang out with your boys, crack a couple talk cans, and just watch the games, man, and enjoy it. So there's a certain mystique and something that I love about the Sunday night and Monday night football games. That's all I look forward to all day when I'm at work. Maybe I'll put in a parlay, or maybe it's my team that's playing. It's just something to look forward to, man. I love football.
Yeah, saying I hate like this time of year when there's no football going on.
Yeah, no, man. But now we got the draft coming, the fantasy football draft. So it's like, okay, we're getting a little bit closer now, man. So
gives us a little something. I know the USFL is going on, and it's not bad. It's decent. Like, it'll hold you over until real time NFL. But no, I think the worst days of the week are Tuesday and Wednesday when there's no football.
Yeah, struggling to make it through those days, man.
Yeah. I think the NFL one day will maybe have like a game on every night.
I think that'll be good for the league. I mean, it's a good proposal. Whoever brings that up, man.
Yeah, that would. If they could figure out the logistics of it, they would, because like money wise, they would kill it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do you like about fantasy football?
Well, first time I tried it was probably like 7 years ago, and it was just like a one-time thing. And what I really like about it now, that I'm into it now in this grocery league, which is great, by the way. I just love the excitement that it brings to watching football on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, and be able to compete with other guys that also know their football stuff as well. So I like the competitiveness of it, and the excitement that it brings overall to the game.
Yeah, definitely. When you have a league where everyone's invested and everyone's involved, that's always fun.
Oh yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
been a part of like more redraft leagues where it's just like some people check out or they just don't care, and
Yeah,
that's tough. So like getting everyone invested and involved,
yeah.
something that's it takes a lot, but when everyone's putting everything into it, it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad that I'm in this league, man.
Yeah,
For sure.
it was kind of started up out of necessity because I like talked about it to people. The other Bay Area league was the first league,
Yeah.
and we just had enough people in the store and that worked around the store to make it happen. And it's kind of cool. I like the whole dynamics of like the merchandiser division versus the
Yeah,
Albertsons division.
yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
That's what brings the excitement to it and the competitiveness. You know what I mean? That's I really enjoy that for sure. You know,
Yeah,
see people at work that are in the league, and you get to talk trash to them. You know, or it's just fun, man.
we gotta get the Albertsons division a championship right now. We're 0-2 in the
Oh, and
championship.
two, yeah. Oh, and two. Hey, maybe this is the year, man. I don't know.
It's a
I don't
rough
know.
one.
I hope not. I hope not.
We did get the Pro Bowl win though. We did win the Pro
Yeah,
Bowl.
that's right. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good win
A
right there.
little
It was a needed win for sure.
consolation prize because
Yeah.
we were on the losing streak.
Mhm.
Um, so who's some of your favorite? Who's your favorite player if you had to pick one, past and present?
Past. Let me see. Past, man. There's a lot of good names out there, man. Present, I gotta go with the magician, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's what he is. He's a magician on the field. And that's coming from a Raider fan. So it's hard to say that. But present, I feel like he's up there in the Lamar Jackson court. I mean, so let's go past here. Let's think past here. I really enjoyed watching Charles Woodson on the field, man. He was definitely a legend. I'm glad he got that Super Bowl ring with Green Bay. He was always fun to watch, man. LaDainian Tomlinson, like I said earlier in the podcast, man. He's one of the reasons I started watching football. And again, it's crazy coming from a Raider fan now, man. But he was very fun to watch. He was dynamic. He was fast. He was a heavy hitter. I mean, he's definitely up there, man, for sure.
Yeah, LT. I remember, like I said, I was always a Niners fan, but whenever I played Madden, I wanted to use the Chargers because I wanted to use
Mhm.
LT and run the
Yeah.
ball. And he had the dark visor where you couldn't see his eyes, and it was just he was a baller. He was a real good running back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like Charles Woodson is another great. He just consummate pro, and I know a lot of Raider fans. He's one of their favorites.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Um,
he's definitely in my top five.
he's
Personally.
definitely a fan favorite for the Raiders,
Oh
and
yeah.
having him get into the Hall of Fame was probably big for you guys.
Oh yeah. First battle
Um,
Hall of Famer, man.
and then President Mahomes, like I hate him because I'm a Niner fan. He's beaten us twice in the Super Bowl, but I can't deny that he's a damn good quarterback, and
Yeah.
it just
I like Lamar Jackson as well, but he just can't seem to get over that hump, man. He just in the playoffs, he can't get over that hump, but he has the ability to do it. I think he's gonna end up getting a Super Bowl ring one of these years. He's gonna have to. He's too good not to, man.
Yeah, he's got the talent, and he's definitely a weapon with his legs, with his arms. It's
Scary,
makes
yeah,
it hard to defend when the
yeah.
quarterback can do both.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the question. So, like, as his career goes on, he'll probably have to develop more into like a pocket passer type quarterback. In the long run. But I mean, he's still in his prime right now, so he doesn't have to really worry about that in the next coming few seasons or so. But
I think he's had pretty good longevity too for running quarterback.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
like
mhm.
RG3 was more of a flash in the pan one year.
Yeah.
Vic lasted, but Vic was also a very good thrower of the football.
Yeah.
Um,
Michael Vick was, ooh man, he was good.
so
He was
so like
fast, man. He was fast. He was lightning fast.
Lamar, he's he's good as a passer. I think he has room to improve. But
Yeah,
overall, he's still just is a weapon, and just his
yeah.
ability to make dudes miss in open field is
I
insane.
think this past season he really showed. I think he really improved a lot as far as passing goes, compared to the last couple seasons before that. But I mean, if he could develop into a more, get his passes down a little bit more, he'll be even more scary than he is.
Yeah, and he's that blueprint for like fantasy football, kind of,
Oh,
that
definitely,
that
man.
running dual threat quarterback where they can just be game
Who
breakers.
who has them as their quarterback in our league?
I think Dylan has
Really?
them.
Okay, yeah, I think that's right.
Um, but that's the thing. Like, is Jaden Daniels the next Lamar Jackson with his running ability? I
He
he's
can run, dude. He
he's
can he
probably
can
gonna
run.
go pretty high in our rookie draft. That's gonna be going on in about an hour. Um,
He'll probably be in the top 3 or 4 for sure. I mean, I'm
yeah,
sure.
and if Caleb Williams wasn't in this draft, he'd probably be the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him and what his career goes like. I think he, out of that rookie class of quarterbacks, he has the best chance to be the dual threat. Give
Yeah.
you points on the ground, points of passing. Um, so yeah, we've talked a little bit of fantasy football and everything. Do you like Dynasty or do you like redraft better? Which league, which style
Um.
fantasy football do you like?
Uh. I don't know. I like the dynasty. I'll say that. Yeah. I'll go with
What,
that.
what do you like better about Dynasty compared to fantasy football? Or is it just like
Um.
standard redraft? I mean,
Well, let me rephrase that, dude. Because I kind of got confused on the question. I'm sorry. No, fantasy football for sure. I've never actually had I've never been in like a dynasty league. Ours isn't considered that, right?
yeah, ours
Or is
is
it?
Dynasty. Dynasty is
Okay,
where
it is
like
dynasty.
what we're in. Redrafts where you like redraft the same team or a different team every
Mm,
year.
okay, all right. Yeah, well, I mean, I love and enjoy what we have right now. Sure. I mean, for one, I was able to come out as champ my first year. I don't know how I pulled that off, but I mean, I enjoy the way it is now. Honestly, because I really haven't really tried no other leagues, so this is all that I know. Coming
Mhm.
into the third year, so this is what I prefer. I mean, I would love to get in another league somewhere at some point, but yeah, as of right now, that's how I feel about this league.
Yeah, it's definitely Dynasty is just a different. There's a whole like extra level of strategy
Mhm.
to it where you got the draft picks. You gotta try and figure out which rookies you like. Do
Yeah,
you want to sell off aging vets? Do you want to go all in? Yeah, I like the whole extra level of strategy compared to
yeah.
like the traditional redraft fantasy football. It's just
Um,
1 year.
so that's the traditional way then. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. I don't have really, a lot of knowledge on that. But okay, still something fairly new to me, and I'm still learning.
yeah. What? Not as many. Like if you were to ask any regular person, they're probably when they think about fantasy football, they think about the redraft where you
Mhm.
draft a team every year.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Dynasty is more of a growing thing, and it is gaining popularity,
Yeah.
but it's not the common. A lot of people don't do it, and I like it. I like the extra strategy.
Yeah, see,
It's a
I
lot
didn't know
more
that.
fun.
I didn't know that was the traditional way. Okay, that makes sense. All right.
So yeah. Um, what are things you like about our league? I know we kind of discussed a little bit of them, with the that we see each other, we get to talk trash. But what are other things you may like about like our league in specific?
Our league specific, well, I think it's just overall fun. I mean, everybody's involved, actively involved in the group chat. We like talking trash here and there, and everybody just seems like they're all in. They're all in on it. The merchandisers, the Albertsons team. I mean, everybody just seems like it. It's just fun, dude. It's fun overall.
Yeah, I like some of the banter in the group chat.
Yeah,
Ram
yeah,
was giving me shit about posting the Bay
yeah,
Area.
yeah. Oh
Video
yeah.
to
I had to throw in that kind of funny remark. Raiders in 4. I know it's football. It's not basketball. I don't know. Had to throw that in there just for
yeah,
fun.
but just the banter back and forth. Like we were in line at Costco, and I was like kind of laughing at some of the things that were said.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just the it is definitely we see each other a lot more then in Bay Area we don't see each other as often.
Yeah.
Some of us don't know each other in Bay Area, but some of us do, and we still do talk. But just it was kind of cool. Like Dylan used to be the merchandiser at our store, and he left chain stores, but he was there today. It was the first time we saw him in a while. He was our 7-Up
Oh wow.
merchandiser,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
was. But it was kind of cool to see him. I see you very often. See Jason, Devin,
yeah,
all pretty
yeah,
often. So
yeah.
that is cool where we could see each other and talk smack in person a little bit.
Oh yeah, and I
Um,
love on football Sundays or through one Monday night football, Thursday night football, and it comes down to like your last player. Your last player. If you're gonna win for that week or not, and just being able to talk in the group chat and send texts back and forth, like, oh, just one more touchdown or a few more yards here, and I'm good. It's just so raw, man. It makes it fun.
yeah. If you were commissioner for the day, what is one league rule you would want to implement,
Mm,
if any?
if any, I haven't really thought about that. That's a good question. Um, Give me some type of examples, man. Like I don't know.
Well, like in the video that I did the other day, with Bay Area with John, uh, his one rule he would implement is to get rid of the defense and get rid of kickers.
Oh, okay.
Other rules people have, I like changing defense to individual defensive players, or changing a scoring setting.
Mhm. Okay, yeah. I don't know, man. That's a good question. I do agree. Taking the defense away. I think that would. I think that would be a good one. I mean, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head right now, but that's a good one for sure.
Yeah, and I know like we've done a couple rule changes in grocery where we changed our kicker scoring to the fractional scoring. So like a 59-yard field goal is worth 5.9
Yeah,
compared to a 50-yard field goal is worth just 5 points. So
that would be
we
a good one too. Yeah, the longer if it's like over a 50-yard field goal, yeah, make it more points. That's a real reasonable one right there for sure.
yeah, I think well we did that, and I think another one I really like, something cool would be like some kind of points for like a first down,
Oh yeah.
instead of just like PPR, maybe like
Mhm.
0.25 points for a first
Yeah,
down. Just
yeah,
that
yeah,
just adds a little bonus. Those are other ones. Right now in grocery we have no rule proposals. No one's proposed any rules for the upcoming season. So if we don't get no rules, we just keep it as is.
everything's gonna stay the same as is.
Sometimes if it's not broke, gotta fix it.
Oh,
So
I'm gonna do a little bit of homework tonight and then maybe send a proposal or two.
sweet. Yeah, and then we do have upcoming in the next year. I just forced it through the Hall of Fame idea. We didn't vote on that one. I just said, guys, we're going to do this, and it was our test run. So this time next
That's a
year,
good call. That's a good call right there. Yes, I agree.
we'll probably be voting on our first Hall of Fame class for the grocery league, and
Going into the fourth year. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, after everyone's had after 3 seasons, everyone should have a player they could nominate, and we'll see who gets in to the Hall of Fame. I think he's a probably you have two probably like shoe-ins to the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
yeah. Well, at least they're debatable to be in. Yeah, I mean, they can make
Yeah,
the
you,
argument.
you,
They can make
you
the
got
argument.
some guys who should garner some Hall of Fame votes.
Yeah,
So yeah, we'll use that to kind of lead into talking about your team. Year one of our fantasy league, you won the championship. You are our inaugural champion,
yeah,
beating me in the finals. That was a fun one. We walked in. We were the 1 and 2 seed that year.
yeah. That was a fun one, man. That was good. That was good. That was good for sure. And coming into the season, I was looking at my quarterbacks, and I'm like, I didn't think I was gonna go deep in the playoffs like that. So to be able to pull it out in the first season, it was great, man. It was great, and that honestly that really did help. make me want to come back and do it again. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you know what, this is cool. It's competitive. Even I'm not gonna win every year. No one is, but it just it's just I love the competitiveness about it, man. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
that was great.
that first year, your team went like undefeated to start off, like 10-0 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, man. They started off on fire. We started off on fire for sure.
So then last year you went 6-8, and you were the sixth seed. You lost to the eventual champion, Dylan, in his Ruggs race car.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so you still were both years we've been in the league. You've been a playoff contender, um,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
you still were competitive last year, even though the record 6-8 is not that great. You still like it's playoff bound. Like all you gotta do is get into the playoffs, you know.
yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. Just get in, and anything can happen, man.
And
But I'm glad I was able to sneak in, man, for
yeah,
sure.
you never know once you get in. So your quarterbacks. We'll talk about your quarterback room. You have Deshaun Watson, Derek
Right.
Carr, Aaron Rodgers, and Mac Jones, who unfortunately is no longer a starter. But you
Yeah.
still have three starters right now. We made a trade for Aaron Rodgers. You traded me Tyler Algier for Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers.
I think
Um,
that yeah, definitely. I think that trade will definitely help me. At least for this upcoming season. Maybe it could help me, sneak in the playoffs again. I don't want to just sneak in. I want to get in convincingly, but at least help me sneak in with Rodgers. Because Carr, I don't know how he's gonna do. Watson, he's off and on, inconsistent, and then the injuries he's had, some issues off the field he's had as well. But that Rodgers one is probably gonna make or break me. I feel this year coming up because he's older. He's probably in the last couple seasons of his career, maybe. But hey, if I can get Rodgers on my team and with the good deal which what we made, I'll take it. So
yeah, I like with your quarterback room. I think Deshaun Watson has a lot of potential still.
he
The
does.
talent's still there, and Cleveland has um, good weapons around him. I think
Yeah, they do. They have some good receivers, and yeah, for sure.
he's your one quarterback that I really feel solid about. Derek Carr, he's on a short leash, and
Yeah, he
then
is.
Rodgers is older, so definitely like quarterback in the future for your team is a team need. Um,
Yes, absolutely.
but for this year, it should be enough to get you through to the next year, and maybe get a quarterback in the draft this year.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna see what quarterbacks are available. Um, because that's gonna be something I need to address for future seasons. This season I might be okay, like you said, but 2-3 years from now, I need to have a legitimate starting quarterback QB1.
Yeah, and then kind of moving on to the running back room that you have. You have a really good running back room.
I feel
Um,
great at that position right now. I feel like
that,
I have a
that's
lot. I
definitely
have a
the
couple good options.
that's definitely the strong point, I'd say, of your team, led by Kyron Williams, who had a breakout year last year for
Oh, man,
the LA Rams,
yeah, that was a
and
steal.
you also have Josh Jacobs, who's another solid starter, moving on to Green Bay, uh,
Yeah, I think he's
and
gonna kill it over there. He's gonna kill it over there for sure.
you have Zamir White, who looks to be slated to be the starting running back
Yeah,
for
that's
your
what I
Raiders.
feel like.
So with the Josh Jacobs signing, you had both Raiders in the backfield, and then Jacobs moves on, and you went from one
Yeah,
starter to two starters. Like
yeah.
that was
It
probably a
opens up a whole
perfect
new world of
scenario.
opportunities for Premier White. Yeah, I feel good about that. So any given Sunday, I can play those two running backs if I want, but it's probably going to be Jacobs, and then yeah, he'll probably be my starter. I mean, Kyrie Williams, man, I don't know. I'll play it week by week, but I mean, I'll probably flex him and play them both, honestly.
Yeah, because I mean, Kyron's still really good, and if the one thing that I will say, like you have a lot of talent on the roster, where
Mhm.
you have the flexibility to let it play out. Like, do you want to try and sell teams at the trade deadline to get a better draft pick? Do you want to go all more of an all in push, depending on how if you're winning or losing? It's always good to have talent and have valuable assets
Yeah,
on your team, and I think even like a player like Alvin Kamara. where he's older, but he would have value at a trade deadline.
The trade, maybe throw on some draft picks or something for sure. So that's something I'll keep an eye on. I was looking at his name earlier on my roster, so that's something I'm going to consider heavily in the future. I'll probably have to throw on some draft picks, see what I can get. Start low, but I think I could probably get some good value for him.
Yeah, well, definitely. I think if per se your team wasn't like in the mix, and he's doing well, like you could sell him and get a second round pick. I'd say easy for future draft capital.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's always nice to have the talent, and like I said, your running back room has 4 starters. And not a lot of people's running back rooms can say they have 4 starters.
Yeah. I have a lot of depth right there, running back, and I'll probably looking at making a trade here pretty soon. Gotta see all my chips out on the table, see what I can get, see what's out there, which is gonna be for sure, some good options. I just gotta browse through them and go from there. But I definitely have depth, to make some roster moves here. Hopefully, this upcoming season, we'll see.
Yeah, you got the depth to start stockpiling picks for future years or this draft. You never know. Maybe get some picks in this year's draft.
Yeah.
Moving on to your wide receiver room, another has some aging pieces, but still like value. That's what I see when I look at your team. There's valuable pieces, led by Tyreek Hill, who was our 2023 MVP last year for the Grocery League. I think he's still as talented as ever, and he was on a tear to start the year.
He's still good. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. I think he had some injury issues at the end of the season, didn't he?
He did a little bit. I watched it was the Hard Knocks in season with the Dolphins, and towards the end of the year he was dealing with some injury issues, but he's still easily worth a lot in the trade market. Especially to a contending team, or even like I said, he's one of the aging pieces that still holds value. Keenan Allen is another really good wide receiver you have. Moving on to the Bears, I think is going to be a good situation for him to work out of the slot and get a lot of targets. Mike Williams, you have Mike Williams, who's another big play wide receiver, and he goes to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, so he should be getting more good targets. So he didn't take a drop in quarterback play. But then you have a couple young up and comers, and Cortland Sutton, who's not necessarily young, but he's not old. He's like right in the middle of the age group, and Darnell Mooney and Marvin Mims to kind of round out your wide receiver room.
Yeah. So I know I could probably use a couple more good pieces on that. I think in the future, but I feel pretty solid for this season. I mean, Sutton's gonna get some. Sutton, we'll see. Hopefully, he has a better season, this year, but we'll see.
Well, they have a new quarterback if they're going to roll with Bo Nix with Denver. So
we'll see how that goes.
It's definitely got a roster with talent, and that's always where you want to be. You never want to be in a situation where you have not a great roster and you don't have any pieces that no one wants.
At that point, you just have to fully tank.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, you'll probably be loaded up for picks. In coming years, if you have to tank, you got to do what you got to do. But I feel great. Talent wise at least, I feel good.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's definitely a strategy. Like in Bay Area, for example, like I traded away anyone who was aging and had talent, and I loaded up with picks, and I'm gonna try and reload with those picks. Or in our league, Zach, the tank commander, has a shit ton of picks. Because he traded away anyone with value, and sometimes that's the route you got to go. But I think picks are super valuable, especially around the time of our rookie drafts. Everyone wants to get their hands on some draft picks and draft those incoming rookies. So it's always good to have those picks because it's like currency.
Yeah, man, it's great to have those in your back pocket, man, for sure.
moving on to your tight end room, we kind of spoke about it earlier. You have Travis Kelce leading the charge, and he just signed a new extension with the Chiefs, so he
that's
might
right. He
be
did.
a lot
He did.
longer
Yeah.
than anticipated. Which
Yeah. So that's
I
good.
thought
He'll be happy. He got paid out, so he'll probably want to ball out this season coming up for sure, dude.
Yeah, I thought he might only have a year or two left, but then he signed
That's what I thought too. But hey, anything can happen.
yeah, it's always good to have a solid tight end like that. And like I
And
said,
he probably has a ton of trade value as well, man. Yeah, he has a lot of trade value, so I might keep an eye on that one. I was already thinking about putting him out there again, but we'll see. I don't know.
I think especially now with that new extension he has, it might give more of a
more
team.
value, yeah.
He's got a little bit longer leash because there is that kind of like, okay, it's that fine value of like, how much do I pay for this player for a 1 year potential rental? But I think he might not be just a 1 year rental anymore. He might have an extra year or two. But like I said, you have options. That's the one thing that's nice about your roster. You have a team where you could. You're not stuck with, okay, I gotta totally rebuild this team, or I'm all in this year. You're in that spot where you have options, which is always a good spot to be in. You never want to be stuck one way or the other.
Yeah.
And then you do have a couple picks in our draft that's going to be starting within the hour. You have the 205, so you have a second round pick, and then you have 3 picks back to back to back in the third round. So you're gonna get a lot of value in that third round, and then you have a 4th round pick and a 5th round pick. No first round picks.
No first round picks. I'm looking to make some moves so I can change that for next year because I'm definitely gonna want to get in the first round next year. But I'm excited for this draft and see. I'm excited to see what's available once my turn is up.
Yeah, this is the second year you don't have your first round pick, but you got a championship out of that first year, so sometimes it works out. It'll be interesting to see next year if you have your first round pick. Who will be the first overall first round pick of the Coke guys?
Yeah. I'm not really sure what options are going to be for next year because we don't. But if I can somehow get my pick in the first round, I'm going probably for a quarterback.
It might end up working out better. Like this year's draft class is definitely more quarterback heavy.
It is. The Jadens, the Caleb Williams, all that, dude. Yeah, it's loaded with quarterbacks.
And that could next year potentially lead to quarterbacks getting pushed down because teams might think okay, there's not really any good quarterbacks to take, so it might push the better quarterbacks down in the draft. Kind of last year to me, Bryce Young went 3rd overall in our rookie draft, and CJ Stroud fell all the way to 7th. So that, but that's because
quarterback class. CJ Stroud, man. Speaking of him, man, it's a steal right there, dude. He's good.
He's good, but that just led to a lot of teams thought the quarterback wasn't very strong. So it let some of the a really good quarterback in CJ Stroud fall. So let's see. Anthony Richardson went 2nd overall in our rookie draft. Bryce Young fell all the way to 6th, and CJ Stroud fell all the way to 7th. So sometimes if there's less hype on a class, it might let a quarterback slide down there. And I know there's a couple good quarterbacks who are going to be coming out in college next year, and they always kind of show up out of nowhere per se.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that for sure. I'm definitely gonna want to get a first rounder next year. I'll make it happen. I have some pieces, so I'll make something happen.
Well, we all start off with our own, and right now you still have it. So you never know what can happen. But looking at your roster, and we kind of went over it. Who's your one cornerstone player, like who you feel like you could build around for the future?
Future wise, obviously I don't have much depth at quarterback. I like Williams, man. I like Kyron, man. I don't know. I feel like he could be a future MVP candidate in the NFL. I feel like he's gonna be someone for sure. Kelsey, I wouldn't say build around because I know he just signed his contract, but I wouldn't say build around like for future. I would say him, but no. I like Kyron, man. I don't know. I like him a lot.
Yeah, Kyron definitely. He had that breakout year last year with the Rams,
Yeah.
where I think he was running back 4 on the year overall. He had a real big breakout, and
Yeah. It's going to be between him and Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill still has a lot left in the tank, dude. So between those two players right there, I feel like I'll build around them for sure.
So yeah, he was running back 7 last year overall in PPR, and you got him in round 22 of our startup draft. So that was a killer pickup. It took a year for him to kind of become what he became, but
yeah, it ended up being a steal. It ended up being a steal in the long run. So that I feel good about. I feel really good about him for sure, dude.
Yeah, and he definitely has value. I can't imagine Ramley hasn't tried to take him
He
off
has,
your
man.
own.
He tried pitching it to me, and I almost went through with it, man. But I was like, I don't think I can let this guy go.
Yeah, and that's
I felt bad because he did hook me up with the Josh Jacobs trade, so I do owe him a favor. But I don't want to give him up. At least not right now.
You guys, that is right. You guys did trade Josh Jacobs. At the time, though, that it seemed like a pretty even trade at the time. It was Leonard Fournette for Josh Jacobs, and
that was a no-brainer for me. I really feel like that was a trade that pushed me to championship, status in our first year. I feel like that was the banger for me right there because he came up huge for me in the playoffs. Josh Jacobs. Oh my God, he killed it. I think it was one game against San Diego, or not the LA Chargers. Excuse me. And then he killed that game right there, and I think that's the one that put me over the hump going into the championship game. So I remember that clear as day. Yeah.
Yeah. And before that trade, though, that was the year Josh Jacobs was starting in the Hall of Fame game, the extra preseason game, and everyone kind of thought like, oh, he's cooked. Like, there's no way. Why are they gonna play him in a meaningless extra preseason game? But he kind of had that breakout year under Josh McDaniels, and did end up doing really well.
Yeah.
That ended up. I remember at the time it was like Fournette for Jacobs. Like, oh, that seems pretty even. Ended up not necessarily being.
I took that one in a heartbeat for sure. That's the one that put me over the hump, man, for sure. And Jacobs, he didn't really ball out like he did that year, this last season. But I mean, I think he's gonna kill it in Green Bay. I think he's gonna kill it, dude.
Yeah, no, that's you got the talent. Like I said, you probably have one of the better running back rooms in the league. I'd definitely say top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about a couple different players. Who's your favorite player on your team? Doesn't have to be fantasy related. Just who's your favorite player?
You mean like on the Raiders or
on your fantasy team? Like,
fantasy
because they're a good fantasy player. Just
a coin flip between Tyreek and Travis Kelce for sure. It's a coin flip. I mean, I'm fine with either one of those guys. Kelce, obviously, he had a lot to do with that championship run that I had as well. And then Tyreek Hill, he's consistent. I mean, he's gonna always hit a 70-yard touchdown, dude. It seems like every other week. So I mean, between those two guys, if I had to choose one, I'll probably tip the scale and lean towards Tyreek by that much. But I mean, either one of those guys.
Yeah, and like Tyreek Hill, just looking at his games, the last 2 seasons he's been wide receiver 2 for you, last 2 seasons. And then his games, He didn't have one game under double-digit points.
Yeah, he
So,
always goes off.
It's consistent. Where his worst game was 10.2 and 10.10. Those were his two worst games. Like,
And he
so
still
you
got into
can
double digits.
lock him in for 10 points at minimum, easy.
Yeah.
So when you have a weapon like that on your team, that's pretty nice.
Oh yeah. That's what helped bring consistency to my team. Players like him, the Tyreek Hill, the Travis Kelce's, the Josh Jacobs, the Kyrie, those guys right there that are consistent players. That's how you can build a team. To at least sneak into the playoffs at minimum. Just every year in, year out. Yeah.
No, that's a solid core in almost every position.
Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of staying healthy at that point.
Yeah, definitely. If you had the ability to steal one player from any team in our league, who's the one player?
CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud?
Mm-hmm. I feel like that would be the guy you could build around easily for the future. Easily. I don't know. For some reason, that's the first name that came up. I thought about Lamar and Patrick, but I mean, I love Patrick Mahomes. He's a magician, like I said, but CJ Stroud's fresh legs. He has that killer instinct where he just wants to go in there and then dominate and kill the other team. And that's the type of player that I would love to have and build around. Dude.
Yeah, no, his rookie year, he lit it up, and
I'll take him in a heartbeat, man.
There's a chance the team that has him can lock him in as their quarterback one for the next 15 years. Like,
hey man, whoever has him, man, they better do it, man. Because, jeez, man, you'll probably win a couple championships if you build the right way around him.
Yeah, no, he's definitely one of the best young building blocks in the league.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So we kind of have to end it up. We're gonna have two questions. One's league related, one's not fantasy football related. So your random league question: which team in our league has the best team name?
The best team name? Okay, let me grab my phone here. Let me go over these real quick. The best team name. All right, let's see here.
We got a couple good ones in our leagues. Only 1, 2.
There's some good names on there, man. There's a couple good ones. Let me see.
Only 4 of them are not like there's 4 of them who are just team blah blah blah. So that
B21 sweeps. That you're Raging Penguins, Team Kubinator, 2 Girls 1 Cup. I'm gonna circle that one. That's that's a pretty badass name. Ruggs Race Car. That's it. All right, that was a good one. I'm gonna keep mine out of it because I don't want to be biased. But Darth Raiders, I feel like that's. Yeah, I did change my name, huh?
You did change it.
Darth Raiders. I don't want to be biased or nothing, but I really like that name. Ruggs Race Car and 2 Girls 1 Cup are my top 2. Those Ruggs Race Car. I'm sorry, that one gets me. I know it's a messed up situation what happened, but those are my 2 right there.
That one is one of the funnier ones in the league. I like
there's a lot of humor in this league. Like everybody has a good sense of humor. So it makes it
I
fun.
like when teams have a name. In one of the third Dynasty leagues we're in, each team is a high school football name. So a lot of people did their own high school. Some people just picked like random high schools that they liked. But it's kind of cool that every team has like a team name.
Yeah.
Just team blah blah blah. Like that there's something fun to think about. When you're talking about different teams, and it's kind of nice. Like just having like a cool name instead of just team blah blah blah.
Stand out, yeah, for sure. Like Ruggs Race Car.
That's a good one. So it makes it nice when I was doing my write ups. I'd be like, oh, Dylan in his race car, describing his team name, or Jason and the Raging Penguins, I,
I don't know
I
that much
always,
about
I would always say his Jason and his Penguin squad when talking about his team. So that always brings a fun little element
Oh,
to
heck yeah, dude.
the
Yeah,
league.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
So we'll wrap it up with a non-fantasy football related question. And what is your favorite non-football sport? And do you have any like memorable non-football sports related memory?
It's between baseball and basketball. I love them both. I grew up watching Kobe and the Lakers. He was one of my role models growing up as a kid. Um, those two sports are dead even for me. I love hockey as well. Last in the last 3 years I've gotten into hockey a lot, but I'm not gonna put it over basketball and baseball. I'll say a recent memory. I actually went to the Dodger game on Tuesday night, and bases loaded. Max Muncy hit a grand slam. So because that's something that just happened recently, I'll go with that. That grand slam in person was pretty sick. I never seen a grand slam in person like that. So that for sure, definitely.
Nice. Yeah. I like hockey too. I definitely hockey games are
Yeah,
very fun to go to. They're very energetic.
my pick going into the playoffs was the New York Rangers. That was my pick to win it
They
all.
haven't
I
they
just
haven't
feel like,
lost a game in the
yeah,
playoffs.
I know they're on fire. So I mean, I feel like it's their time. I feel like it's their year. I mean, the Panthers are good. The Bruins are good. I mean, I just feel like the Rangers just have that. They just have that it factor. There's something about that team that has the it factor. It just seems like it's their year.
Yeah, and hockey, my hockey team, they just won the NHL draft lottery, so they're going to be drafting first overall in this
With
upcoming
the
draft.
Sharks?
The Sharks, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm a LA Kings fan. They just can't get past the Oilers, dude. That's their kryptonite right there.
We'll
That's,
have
that's,
to,
that's yeah.
we'll have to find go to a game or something. Then I've gone to a Sharks and Ducks game. I haven't gone to a
Yeah.
Sharks and Kings game.
Yeah, I've been to one Kings game a few years back. I forgot who they played, but it was pretty fun. Good experience.
Yeah, the reason I picked this as the question yesterday, I was off and I was trying to find something to watch on TV, and I started watching it was it's on HBO Max. It's called like Winning Time.
Oh yeah.
Kind of about the Lakers when Jerry Buss bought the Lakers. And it has
Oh
like
yeah.
John C. Riley um he's playing Dr. Buss, and it has talked about when they drafted Magic, and it's kind of like one of those like biopic type
Yeah.
movies. It's like a show, and it's pretty interesting. It's funny, a little bit of adult content in it,
Yeah.
but it seems like it's pretty historically accurate. So that's kind of
Mm.
cool. So that's what made me bring up this question.
It's a good question to ask. Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. Usually when I do these questions, I'm like something happens in my day, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good thing to talk about. And I was like, I didn't really have nothing,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we, it's a good show. I would recommend it, especially you being a Lakers fan, to
Yeah.
check it out.
Die-hard Lakers fan, man. Die-hard for sure.
Um, so yeah, they're it seems like a cool show, but I know
I'll have to check
you're a
it
big
out.
time Dodgers fan too, and I'm a Giants fan, so that's a little
Oh
we
man.
gotta have rivalry
Okay.
about that.
Yeah, that's a rivalry for sure. Yeah.
But no, the Giants we're not very good right now, so it's okay. I have a
Pacing
couple
goes.
Dodgers on my fantasy baseball team that was given to me. I
Yeah,
got
I just have some good players on their team that you would want on your fantasy for sure. They have a couple good guys.
Mookie Betts is killing it for me.
Even
So
Will Smith, dude, even he's been going off all year. I mean, Otani obviously is going to do his thing, but Mookie Betts, yeah, he started the year off on fire, dude. Slowed down
yeah,
a little bit, but he started off on fire. Yeah.
the fantasy baseball league I'm in. Shout out Alfredo and Lorenzo and Nick if they're watching. Um, we don't draft. It's all
Mhm.
auto. Every team's auto drafted. So you
Oh, they
kind of
auto
just
drafted? Oh
yeah,
wow.
the whole league's auto drafted. So you kind of just get given your team, and then if you want
Yeah.
to make trades Like I made a trade for Blake Snell before the year,
Oh,
and
Cy Young. Did he win the Cy Young last year? Was it him that won it?
yeah, he won the Cy Young,
Yeah.
and then he hasn't done shit with the Giants because he signed with the
No, I heard
Giants,
that. Yeah, I was seeing that he hasn't really had a good start to the season.
and I was hoping I was kind of the only reason I traded for him because he's on the Giants, and luckily I
Yeah.
didn't end up giving too
Well, I mean, that's
much.
a good pick coming into the season. That's a guy you would want on your team, but just unfortunately, he's not really having a great start to the season.
Yeah, hopefully he turns around once he comes back from injury.
He'll turn it around. He's too good. He's too good
Yeah,
to not light it up.
but yeah, well that'll kind of wrap up this this segment, this episode. I know Ramley will be happy to not have a Bay Area episode when I send this out to the group chat. But it was nice having you on, and
Yeah.
good luck this year. Good luck with the draft coming up in the
All
within the hour,
right.
and we'll have you get on later on in the year when we do something else.
All right. Yeah, sounds good, man. Thanks for having me. Good luck to you and everybody else in the league. And let's get this draft started, man. Let's do this.
For sure.
All righty, man.